You are watching American Presidents Life and Presidency. This episode will be about our 41st president, George H.W. Bush. We'll be right back in 8 seconds.
Preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
The transfer of power complete, Mr. Bush began his inaugural.
George H.W. Bush was born on June 12, 1924 in Minton, M.A. George H.W. Bush married future First Lady Barbara Bush. Adisha married her while leaving from World War II service. The couple had met 2 years before during an early shore leave. Both claimed to fallen in love at their first sight. George and Barbara Bush went on to have five children, and one of them became the future president of the United States. After the war, Bush graduated with honors from Yale University. He worked in the oil business, Texas, for 18 years before seeking his first public office. He lost a 1964 U.S. Senate bid, but he gained a seat in the U.S. House of Representatives 2 years later in 1966. After 2 terms, he made a second unsuccessful for the run of the Senate. Over the next 10 years, he was appointed by Republican Presidents Richard M. Nixon and Gerald R. Ford to a series of prominent posts: U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations and Chairman of the Republican National Committee, top U.S. diplomat in China, and Director of the Central Agency. George H.W. Bush eyed the vice presidency in 1968 and 1974. And then in 1980, he decided to run for the presidential nomination. His nomination against Governor Ronald Reagan. After George H.W. Bush lost the Republican primaries in 1980 for president, he decided to join the race for vice president. Her president. And then he earned 8 years of experience as Ronald Reagan's vice president, her president, before getting the presidency of himself. In the election of 1988, George H.W. Bush chose Dan Qualley as his running mate. As his running mate, and the both ran against Michael Stanley Douglas. The both were inaugurated on January 20th, 1989. Iraq's 1990 invasion of neighborhood boarding communist tiny oil-rich nation on the Persian Gulf proved worldwide outrage. The United States led an international fight in the region several months later that liberated Kuwait and severely damaged Iraq's military defenses. Iraq's leader Samuel Houston has remained in command of his nation, but other governments agreed to enforce sanctions or restrictions on Iraq until the nation could no longer possess the weapon of mass destruction. The war, which lasted only a few months, cost more than $6 billion, a sum that many nations helped pay. The United States lost 408 lives during the war. As many as 1,000 Iraqs died. Most of them are civilians. For George H.W. Bush's re-election bid in 1992 against Governor Bill Clinton and Ann Ross's parrot in a three-way race. And this hasn't happened since the election of 1912 with Woodrow Wilson and incumbent President William Howard Taft and former President Theodore Roosevelt. George H.W. Bush eventually lost his re-election bid, and Bill Clinton won the presidency, and who went on to serve 2 terms in office. George and Barbara Bush retired to their homes in Texas and Maine. They have been married longer than other presidential couple, with the Carters coming in a close second.
Preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
We hope you enjoyed today's we hope you enjoyed the episode that we premiered on American President Life and Presidency this Sunday. And then a new Cartoon Samuel series called History of Television will make his debut next Sunday at 7:30 after a new episode of American President's Life and Presidency. Now here's a sneak peek to our newest Cartoon Samuel original series called History of Television of leaked images. So catch new episodes of every Sunday of American President's Life and Presidency and History of Television. Hot television starting next Sunday at